your scan because I scanned it. Hold on. And
What time was it sent?
I sent it at 6:21 yesterday. Mr. Adams, Mr. Steele, Mr. Weinstein, Mr. Matthews.
Did anybody get an email called Your Scan?
I did.
Yes?
Yes. Oh, yes, I did get your scan.
Okay, well, that's it, apparently. Did we get one, Ms. Percival?
I sent the second one.
Photographs, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I think it was supposed to be pages of the Twitter that she wanted.
I received your scan that had nothing but photographs, Instagram photographs.
That was it.
Okay, I think it was Twitter, not Instagram, but,
Oh,
okay, all right. Well, we didn't get it. The court didn't get it, so can you resend to Ms. Percival? And Mr. Sharp didn't get it. I mean, I don't know what happened sometime in the Ethernet between send and receive, but did everybody else get it?
I'm sitting.
no, Bruce did not know this. Bruce did not.
Mr. Harvey was,
He's not on this.
he's not even included.
I sent it from. I didn't send it to the board, I sent it to Ms. Percival.
Yeah, no, I know, but she said she didn't get it.
I just sent it.
If you've been waiting to
was in contact with Mr. Atkins last night, and and we compared lists. We have a slight discrepancy on what's in or what's out based on the court's ruling about the transcript.
Okay,
We may have a discrepancy. Mr. Atkins is reviewing what I sent to him,
Okay.
and we'll report back. But I assume the state is not planning on playing it immediately. Is that?
Pretty early, so.
pretty immediately. Sounds like. So maybe we need to get that sorted.
Mr. Atkins is checking what he said.
Your Honor? Yeah. Excuse me, during this time where folks are looking, I just want to raise the issue of the request to not video Detective Gaither. I realized that in the past, there was a request for the media to not video Gaither, Detective Gaither, but, and I didn't realize this before, I'm sure I objected to it before, but I don't understand the legitimate security concern regarding, I mean, maybe they can articulate one, a legitimate security concern regarding Detective Gaither, because she's all over media. I mean, she's a star of First 48. She gets an 8.4 rating, actually, so it's apparently a pretty good show that she's on. But I don't understand why she can be on commercial television and the
You raise a good
AJC
point.
and everywhere else and not be televised here.
I'll ask the state.
Your Honor, I think that, I know that this was dealt with previously. She is no longer in law enforcement. She's retired, and she, in her capacity at her current position, is not working as law enforcement, but is in a position that we believe warrants the protocol that was placed in place last time that she testified. There's
Can
no.
you share with me what that position is?
Sure, if the court will allow me to do it at the bench with whoever with defense wants to come up.
Okay,
so that
is
I'm not-
she on shows like First
No,
48?
She does not.
Has she been on shows like First 48 identified as by her name?
I have not seen her on First 48. I cannot speak to what Mr. Weinstein said. I have never seen her on First 48. But if he says he saw her, I don't think, and I don't believe that there is there's any reason to change what.
Well, we could just ask her.
And Your Honor, we could, but she's not. If she was or is on some episodes of First 48 that are playing now, she was in law enforcement. She had to have been during that time. I know.
Right. The point is, if her identity is out there anyway, readily available for anybody who wants to see it, identified as a law enforcement officer, then
May I
what?
approach?
Yes. Order remains in place.
And Mr. Sharp is talking to Mr. Atkins about whatever.
Yeah, I know.
So they're trying to argue, we're trying to resolve it short of having.
The good news is out of all of the issues, there's only 3 that we disagree on,
Okay,
and we're trying to figure that out.
okay, that's fine. All right, well, I guess we can't really have the witness in to testify until those couple of things get figured out. So I am going to recess because I need to check on something.
about some things.
Okay.
So, what did he say about that? Mr. Shart and the state disagree on number 14, page 81, line 22 to 82, line 2. The portion that the court kept out was, yeah, I told him Shannon hot-headed. The line after that, we have that it is included and available for impeachment purposes. They all want names for themselves. They want names for themselves. And when I asked the witness on the stand, I was looking to go back to see all that I asked him, but I don't have that transcript in front of me. But he said, when I asked him, it's everything that he said about the 3 people who are currently on trial. Or why is it that everything you say about them, you can remember they didn't say, or you told a lie, but you can't remember anything else. That would allow what he is saying here to be an inconsistent statement about them wanting names for themselves. That is the one area that there is disagreement on. There were 2, so the other one is.
Your Honor,
Hang
can I
on,
respond to
let's do
that one?
one at a time.
The-
And so the state had that it could be used for impeachment.
Yes.
The state keeps taking the stance that as long as something was, and I'm not conceding that it was a prior inconsistent statement because I don't recall them asking that, but they seem to be taking the stance that as long as something's a prior inconsistent statement, it's automatically admissible. And this is speculation. It's speculating about my client's intent.
When
Hey, I did this and this is why. And that foundation was never laid. It's not a matter of prior inconsistent statement.
Right, yeah. And what you had was that it was out unless a foundation was laid.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, Your Honor, that's, I'd ask that the court check the court's notes because there was
So
not.
I can't find my notes, unfortunately. I don't have any idea where they went to.
Because our notes are specifically that it can be used for impeachment purposes. And the argument that his client wasn't there is belied by the witness's statement to the police that he was, which the court is requiring that we keep out because the court ruled that it has to be kept out. About, I don't know why he's saying his client wasn't there.
I didn't say my client wasn't there.
It's just what he just said.
I said that.
No, that's not what he said.
He just said my client wasn't there. He
I said
literally
Mr.
just said
Zachary
my
wasn't
client
there.
wasn't there.
Okay, but that's not why it's being kept out.
I'm aware. You mean,
I mean, the ruling
was
would
that,
have been, I mean, it's the same thing as the similar one that we talked about yesterday. I would have said, lay a foundation that he actually knew that and it wasn't just his speculation.
Your Honor, this is someone who, during the course of this entire interview with the police, and certainly around this area, talked about his relationship with and how much time he spent with this defendant. I believe that as a member of YSL and as a person that we see throughout each of their social media pages, associating themselves with one another, not just Mr. Stillwell's, but Mr. Zachary's, that the jury should be allowed to hear what Mr. Zachary's observations were. If he observes that they are acting in a way, and he hears them on some occasions say, let's go get that money.
All right,
To-
here's the thing, is that you didn't establish that this was based on his personal observation, or that he heard them say things like this, or that he had such a confidential, close relationship with Mr. Stillwell that they shared all of this kind of thing. You just didn't establish it.
Your Honor, that is because the witness would not acknowledge it. But the fact that he does, having listened to his interview multiple times, he establishes it in the interview. And that is the reason that we are saying the jury should be allowed to hear all of what he said so that they can determine which version of the truth they believe, the one where he's sitting in front of the defendants saying, now everything I said about them is a lie, or the version where he gives intricate details about his interactions with the defendant and the way or what he observed during those interactions. There are moments where he said, Woody was curled up on the couch. He was scared to go.
Okay, but
You know,
we're not
that's just an
talking about
example.
his relationship with Woody right now.
I'm giving an example of his observations, the type of details that he gave in the interview. And so as it relates to defendant Stillwell, he's telling the police how many when he interacts with them, what happens during the interaction. He's telling them when they started associating, they asked questions like,
Miss Love, I understand all of that. If it's just based on what's all in the interview, it seemed to me at the time, and nothing was established to convince me that this was anything more than his theorizing about what it was. And the rules of evidence are there for a reason. It's not that I want this in or I want this out. It's that it has not been established that he has a basis to say this beyond his own musings about it. And therefore, the ruling stands. What's the next one?
so,
What's the next one?
okay, so I'm sorry that the first one was that it was, so it wasn't for impeachment purposes. It was something different. It's,
I
okay. So the second one was, so the second one was the call that the court addressed either later last week or earlier last week regarding it was in August that the court addressed the call about them putting Shannon, Pokey, Woody, and Mr. Zachary when they were at Big Boo's grandmother's house. And Boo got a call from Mushi, and $10,000 was put on the head of anybody who set out to harm Lucci.
Mhm.
Mr. Zachary said that in his interview that Woody came in, it was stated there's $10,000 on the head.
Okay, is there a transcript reference?
It's
Page 22, I'm sorry, page 109, line 25 to page 111, line 4. And the court, number 22, redaction request number 22. I don't know if the court's,
I don't
Nope.
seem to have the chart. If I could find the chart, then I would have my notes. But anyway, I
well, our
recall-
chart says that it's in. I don't know what,
show me what the chart looks like.
It was,
give it to us.
Just
they tried to revisit this
No, we
yesterday.
didn't.
show me what the chart looks like.
Go
Just
show
turn
me
it
the chart.
around and let me see it.
Mr. Atkins is coming up to the.
Oh, is this something y'all gave me before, or this is just your own chart of my?
We used it, and didn't we gave you a copy of it, and that's how we were referencing it in the arguments.
Your Honor, if I
Uh-huh.
may,
Yes.
Mr. Shard's redaction chart that he sent to the court and state, that is the same list that when we went through the redactions in court, those 2 days or 2
Okay,
days and a half,
wasn't that?
and it was labeled from the 2015 interview 1 through, I believe Mr. Shard's last redaction was 43. this is Mr. Sharp's redaction request number 22.
And I think that Mr. Atkins went over all of this last week. Do we not?
Okay, and what I wrote next to 22 was only to Kenneth Copeland or Zachary, not Stillwell.
And that is, my understanding is that Mr. Shard is arguing that the call itself, the fact that there was that call and
Uh-huh.
he's arguing that all of that came out and we have that it is not out.
Yeah.
Well, the trick is, Your Honor, in this,
Can you try to use your mic?
in this transcript, in this passage, there are several references to we, that in the context, it's clear that Copeland is spilling the beans not only on himself, but on Shannon. So, for instance, I don't know if Your Honor has the
I
transcript.
do.
Okay, so for instance, 110, line 20. No, they said they did it. 111, line, where is it? There's 111, line 4. He like, man, we just shot up Lucci Mama's house. So there's things that in that spilling the beans by Copeland that in the context of this interview, as it's played to the jury, is going to implicate Shannon. I understand. Now, I don't agree that this proves anything, but I understand the evidentiary rulings that Mr. Zachary at one time claimed he was in this room and he
Mhm.
saw Shannon and Kenneth Copeland and they left and then they came back. And I understand a phone call came in. But what Kenneth Copeland said while they were in that room is hearsay that does not fit into an exception, and it implicates my client. So that's, of course, I would love if it just all came out. It would be cleaner, and also I'd prefer it. But if we definitely need to, as was your ruling from the beginning, we need to clean up what Woody said insofar as it implicates my client.
Well, do you have a proposal for how to do that?
Take out what Woody said.
Short of that? I mean, is there something in here that it's, there's a Stillwell reference that can be cleaned up? What was the number for that first one y'all were talking about?
Your Honor, the first one was number 14. And the state does have a proposal when the court's ready.
All right, what's your proposal?
So, Your Honor, there was 3 requested redactions that all pertain to the shooting
Mm-hmm.
of Mr. Bennett's mother's home. And so number 21, Mr. Shard's request number 21, the court, as the court just stated, permitted the state to address as long as it didn't pertain to defendant Stillwell. And so there, Zachary has a line when he's saying who committed this act, where he says Woody, Shannon, and Little Pokey. So the
Mhm.
state is redacting where he says Shannon, so that later on, when he references they or we, the jury will
Okay.
not hear that he definitively states Shannon.
Okay.
Well-
That ought to solve it.
Well, that doesn't solve, the problem is we'd have to redact, and I don't think the state's going to agree to this, but we'd have to redact Shannon from the whole story, because it's not just that Woody at one point says,
We did it, essentially, yeah.
it's not so much that Quindarius Zachary says, I mean, clearly, I want that out, but also in Quindarius Zachary's telling of this story,
Mhm.
Shannon is with Woody in the beginning, which he saw with his own eyes. I understand why that would come in, but what I'm saying is the references to Shannon are not limited to the conclusory statement.
Well, I mean, that's just going to be what it is.
Okay, so we're taking out the conclusory thing, but
Well, I mean, the specific, naming of the people, because I had said that could only come in if it was established that Stillwell was there when Mr. Copeland said we did it, and that wasn't established.
So the court, with respect to Shannon, that is the ruling that we.
Right, so if you redact that word, then
Yes.
when later on, it doesn't sound like it's Shannon, it sounds like it's the two of them that he's already mentioned, so that fixes that.
But he can say, and we can get in the fact that Shannon, Woody told Shannon and Pokey, let's ride.
Yes,
Okay.
see, and that's my problem, Your Honor. I think that the they inescapably refers to Shannon in the mind of the jurors, even if we take out the one conclusory
okay,
line.
well, I mean, that may be,
And just for the record, Your Honor, it is the lines that I'm concerned about on the transcript are 111, line 4, where it says, he like man, we just shot up Lucci's mama's house, and page 10, line 20, where it says, no, they said they did it.
okay, well, I don't agree that it still sounds like Shannon when
Okay,
only certain people were named and he's not one of
I understand the court's ruling.
them. Okay, what's the next one?
I think there's the only two, but I just.
Oh, I thought y'all said there were 3.
Yeah, he's shaking his head.
Okay, all right.
So I need to make sure, I would like to make sure with the witness that those 2 areas are clearly understood. We bring her out here and something's said.
All right, and actually, for the number 14 that we were discussing before, my notes were that y'all had come to agreement about that.
Number 14.
The one the very first one that we took up.
We agreed on hot-headed. They all want names for themselves is the portion that we have noted the court allowed us to use for impeachment purposes. Yesterday, I asked the court to allow us to include the hot-headed. The court denied the request. So the only thing and I said that was something we previously agreed on, the hot-headed. And the court denied that request, but the rest of it, the court said that it could be used for impeachment purposes.
Okay, so my note on that, now that I have the notes, is that y'all had agreed that I didn't make a ruling, that y'all had agreed that the character about Shannon was out except to show moving up because wanted to make names. So if y'all are no longer in agreement, then my ruling would be a foundation was not established. So I think we're ready for the witness and the jury.
I want to be sure. speak with, since it is my witness, I just want to make certain that all of the court's rulings are understood and that I articulate them to her so that we don't get into, because I will be asking questions to avoid some of this. And I want to make certain that we don't get into any of it.
Okay. Let's, if you can do that fairly quickly, because we've had the jury waiting for 40 minutes already.
My man just stepped out there.
Is the witness ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and get the witness in. We are waiting on both of Mr. Williams' attorneys. Have to tell them not to go to the bathroom at the same time. You can come on up to the stand.
Which one?
Hmm? You are.
I don't actually want me to.
Well, she's already testified. You already have been testifying in this case. All right, I'll just, when the jury gets in, go ahead and have a seat for now. As we're waiting on one of the attorneys anyway, I'll just remind you that you've already been sworn. I need one of them back.
Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and get the jury.
We have the clip on.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Yep.
Isn't it? Stop it when you first walk in the room. And make it- All right, thank you very much. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for your patience while we sorted out some evidentiary matters this morning. All right, so we have Detective Gaither on the stand now, and I'll just remind you, ma'am, that you are still under oath. Go ahead, Ms. Love.
Thank you, Your Honor, and welcome back, Sergeant Gaither. Sergeant Gaither, would you please tell the jury whether during your investigation of events that happened in 2015 as they related to Ifgang and YSL, you had an occasion to interview Quindarius Zachary on August the 5th, 2015?
Yes.
All right. And at the time that you interviewed him, did you call him to be interviewed, or did he or someone on his behalf reach out to you?
Yeah, there were a couple people on his behalf that reached out to me,
Okay.
stating that he wanted to talk to me.
Okay. And I'm going to,
Yeah.
Microphone.
I'm going to give you one that might work a little bit better. Okay. And had you left your number with family members of his, as you have in other cases, if they wanted to reach out with you?
Yes.
And is that the way that family member contacted you?
Yes.
All right. Was Quindarius Zachary brought over to the Atlanta Police Department from the Fulton County Jail?
Yes.
All right. Now, is it the custom that when a person comes in to see you, you make any observations about whether or not they're in any condition to talk? And by that, I mean, if someone's sloppy drunk, or if they're obviously under the influence, or...
Yes.
And if they are in no condition, by your estimation, to talk, do you continue to talk with them anyway, or do you send them back, or?
No, I don't talk to anyone that's under the influence or under distress or anything. We'll just revisit it at another time.
Okay. And when you spoke to Quindarius Zachary on August the 5th of 2015, did he appear to be in any physical distress from withdrawals or anything like that?
No.
Okay. Did you see any sign that he was under the influence or in pain or anything like that, that would have prohibited him from clearly understanding questions that were asked?
No.
At any time, did you force him to sit down and talk to you?
No, his people were calling me nonstop for like a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I just kind of took my time and let him sit there a minute, and picked him up when I was ready.
Okay. And at any time outside of that interview room, Did you convey threats? Did you tell anybody, if he doesn't speak to me, something bad is going to happen?
No, ma'am.
All right. Did you make any promises to him outside of that interview room through
No.
other people?
No.
Okay. And inside the interview room, did you tell him, let me back up. Are you allowed to tell people, if you do this, I will get your charges thrown out?
I'm not allowed to do that.
And did you tell Quindarius Zachary that?
No.
Now, to be clear, during the course of his conversation with you on August 5th, 2015, at some point did he broach the subject of whether or not you all were going to be able to help him out with any of his charges?
He did.
Right. And did you tell him at that time that you were going to get him thrown out?
No, I did not.
All right. Your Honor, can we get access to the Zoom?
Unfortunately, I don't have access to the Zoom right now either, and I had just typed my team to let me in.
All right.
Maybe if somebody's listening up in my chambers, they could let Ms. Love and the court in, please. Normally, Ms. Percival does that, but she had to step out and handle another matter. So
While they're doing that, I'll continue with the questions. When you spoke to Quindarius Zachary in August, had you already gotten, you remember when you talked to the jury last time about the Dexter Montgomery shooting?
Yes.
All right. And do you remember speaking to them about the surveillance footage that you were able to look at from that shooting?
Yes.
All right. Now, during your interview with Mr. Zachary, did you show him surveillance footage from the Dexter Montgomery shooting?
I showed him still shots, not actual footage.
Okay. And when you say still shots, would you explain what you mean?
Basically screen grabs or images of people that were depicted in the actual video. We just took a picture of that particular person and printed it out onto paper.
Okay. I'm going to show you what I believe has already been admitted as states 308 Yankee. And I'm going to ask you, it was in here. Mhm. Okay. If you recognize states 308 Yankee, and Your Honor, this does not have the sticker affixed to it. This is the exhibit that was labeled 308 Yankee.
okay.
So I'm showing this to her, and
Okay.
I'll get the exhibit.
Yes.
Okay. Now, when you showed this image to Mr. Zachary in the interview, okay. And for the record, it was 503 Yankee.
503. And it
And
was
it
that
has-
already admitted?
It was.
And I'm sorry, just like for housekeeping, are we going to get an exhibit sticker on it or?
Yes.
Okay.
It's actually the one that we admitted does have the exhibit sticker on it.
Oh, it's a copy of the, okay,
Yes.
no problem.
And so you spoke with Mr. Zachary. Did you have any reason to believe that he was at or anywhere around the Browns Mill Road area at the time that that image was captured on the surveillance footage?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Would you tell the jury what it was that you showed him that footage for? Why it was that you showed him that footage?
To help further that investigation, see if he can identify people that we had not previously identified involved in the Dexter Montgomery shooting.
Okay.
We knew that he was affiliated with persons that we were able to identify. So while we had him there, why not ask him?
Who was it that he was affiliated with that you were able to identify as being involved in that Dexter Montgomery shooting?
Walter Murphy.
Okay. What did you know about Mr. Zachary's affiliation or relationship with Walter Murphy?
We knew that both of them claimed to be YSL, so I assumed they knew each other.
Okay. And did Mr. Zachary confirm knowing Walter Murphy?
Yes, he did.
Did he call him Walter Murphy or did he use another name?
He called him DK.
All right. Yeah, it was on, yeah. Can you pull this? Don't share it. Yeah. It's just- What's the number? Okay. I'm going to show you, and Your Honor, because it's a digital image, counsel for defense has been provided this, but I want them to see what I'm walking to the witness with. May I be permitted to show them what I'm showing the witness?
All right.
All right. Miss Knight, that was 5. I'm going to show you what is 531 Yankee, a video on the screen. And I'm going to ask you, have you reviewed this video prior to coming in?
I have.
And is it a fair and accurate copy of the interview that you conducted with Quindarius Zachary on August 5th, 2015?
Yes.
Did you see any alterations or material changes?
No.
Okay. Your Honor, the state tender states 531 Yankee as evidence.
All right, that's admitted with, as we already discussed.
All right. Your Honor, I ask permission to publish.
You may.
And just for decorum's sake, I ask permission to seat myself while I publish it so
You
that I
may.
don't.
Your Honor, may I?
May
May
you
I
what?
use this screen?
Is that one available?
It's up. I just need to know.
Okay, yeah.
Yes. And if you
What do you use?
If you want to use earphones, they're here and available for you. They help. Allows you to hear.
Four and a half dogs, no, I can't eat. Food. Like, food like that. I don't know, what's that?
Well, as you know, you contact
come down here and make a statement about these cases that we have. Y'all been getting on my darn nerves calling me, so we here. But even though you reached out to us wanting to talk, I still gotta advise you your rights, okay? Let's say yes, you gotta say yes, no. Just so you're fully aware of your rights. Spell your first and last name.
There's a QUINDARUS, exactly, CHCHARY.
What's your birthday?
8/21/93.
8/21.
21/93.
What's your address?
445 Cleveland Avenue.
From over there.
His address, not to the computer.
All right.
About to, they said I can move to, they came from
Because of that, man, come on. What's the zip over there?
0354.
30354. Now, how tall you are?
6, I mean like 5'10".
Yeah, how much you weigh?
169.
Your brown eyes, black hair.
I think brown.
Your eyeball, meaning the colored part. What's the highest grade level you completed?
Graduate.
I know people graduated 8th grade. Did you graduate high grade?
High school,
12th grade.
What else we do? I don't know, but I graduated current.
What year?
I think 09. Something like that.
You got a phone number?
I'm on them, 44.
Mm-hmm.
5.
Phone name again?
Kyler Jeff, KL.
And Your Honor, just for the record, the state also muted the phone number of his mother.
Zach. That's who live at Cleveland. All right. I'm just gonna go with this Miranda form. What's your middle initial? Yeah.
T.
What that stand?
Touchdown. TYSHON.
Basically states Aquindary Zachary has been informed by the undersigned law enforcement officers prior to being questioned by them that I am suspected of the offense of aggravated assault, which is what you charged with for the two drive-bys. Okay?
Yeah.
Your first right is that you got a right to remain silent and not have to make any statements. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
That any statement that I make may be used against me in court of law. Do you understand that? That I have the right to consult with my attorney and before making statements and have said attorney present with me while I'm making the statement. You get that? That if I do not have enough money to employ an attorney, that I have the right to have one appointed to me by the courts to represent me and to consult with him before making any statements and have him present with me while I'm making the statement. Do you get that? That if I request an attorney, no questions will be asked of me until my attorney is present to represent me. Do you understand that? Has anybody coerced you or forced you or threatened you to come down here and make a statement?
No.
You sure?
No.
No, you're not sure?
I mean, I'm sure, but ain't nobody forced me.
Okay. Can you read? No, okay. Can you read and write English?
Yeah.
And I have had read to you. Today is the what?
5th. 2617. Let's go.
If you would, initial by each of those, and then if you still agree to talk to us, sign down at the X.
Just come do it when you're ready.
Sign my name here. Okay, this. Sign that. All right, well, we here. What's the big rush to talk to you? So, let's go about it.
I'm saying, say this, let me speak on first.
Let's talk about this, what you've been charged with. What do you have to say about the case?
Went the other night.
You wasn't where? What did you hear about it?
Where, some came to the house with me up to like DJ got jumped. I'm like, so? And then,
You was at the house in Cleveland?
yeah,
Apartment, address, you know,
405. And then told me, that she had got shot at too.
that same night?
Yeah, she said, they got in a whole bunch of shooting, and then like Ill Gang had pulled up at my cousin's house. Cause my cousin go with this boy named Tate, y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Javante.
yeah, I don't know her name, but she was going in the house, and she said y'all didn't start shooting at the house, like they were shooting from the apartment. Like she said,
Where is this house located at? What you talking about?
Landrum apartment,
Landrum and Zone 4?
accountant,
Okay, so who stay over there again?
my cousin Lips, Frank, and Tate.
That's what Javante said.
Yeah,
She your blood cousin?
yeah.
I mean, you know how people say.
Not my real cousin.
So this gang got to shoot at them at Landrum.
Yeah.
Is this before or after D got shot at? I mean, got jumped on.
She say it happened last. It's like I was shooting.
So first D get jumped on, then the shootings happen.
Y'all tell me like from how I heard, like what I heard first.
Okay.
I like shit. Most of them call me or something in the morning, let me know that.
Mm-hmm.
But she like, most of them cussing D out, cause D telling them that he shooting, they had shoot them in the face and jump. Most of them told D they had to find around home. And then she like, then them D told, I would sleep, D told me that morning like, they had shot up the house.
D told you that, say that you kind of skimmed over that part. When you say D, you talking about Demikian, right?
They real name?
You talking about Lil D from 30D,
Yeah.
like Mechanicsville? Demikian.
Demikian told me that they had shot at the houses.
That who had shot at the houses?
Him, Tay,
Mm-hmm.
and who it was? Shannon. He just told me nothing. He said him, Tay, Shannon, and some other boy named Trey Dunn. He would take.
Named Trey Dunn?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He told you personally.
Yeah.
How did he tell you over the phone? In your face?
Yeah, he's over my house. I was sitting there like he told me that they had shot the house, he said, and then what's called that they shot up Larry where Tay stayed.
So this gang came back and shot up Tay house?
Yeah, someone right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I guess that was she was gonna go that night. And he said that when they went and prepared home.
Mm-hmm.
That when they went and shot up prepared home.
Who went up and shot the girl?
Him, Tay, Shannon, Trey Down. He told me them full name. He already said them. I want to. But I kind of feel want to without a.
Why you figure that?
I ain't got no car.
How close are you on to?
You know, my whole life. I told my dad my dad and him, they grew up here.
So you got a lot of loyalty to Moon.
For me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I ain't got nothing. I had some of them, but he ain't got nothing for me.
How you know he ain't got nothing for you?
Shoot. I ain't been talking to him like that.
Have you talked to him since you've been in jail?
Have I talked to him since I've been in jail?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, since he's been in, because you went in first.
Yeah. So he told me that the Mikion told y'all why he was scared, you tricked him.
Demikion sat in that exact same chair, and you're gonna get the exact same treat that Demikion. I don't have to trick people or lie, because phone record said you a grown man, right? And it's my trick, and that's what I'm saying. I feel like you kind of getting off track, because we got your phone records too.
Mine? Yes, sir. What phone record?
This is what we do. Remember when we locked you up the last time?
Yeah.
We went to the house and we ended up getting your phone number and stuff. And I got your phone record, because that was your phone number, right?
No, that ain't my number.
Okay. Well, like I said, we can stop this right now, because it's going in the wrong direction. And I don't want to waste your time or mine. Because this shit don't matter to me. My shit is good. This is what's going to fuck y'all. So I got the Mikion. Because y'all, everybody thinking the Mikion snitching. This is the Mikion phone number, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got the Mikion. I got yours.
And wait, one more.
And I got more. 622. 662, whatever. So I don't have no reason why.
So the media ain't necessarily have to tell it. You know what I'm saying? Technology told them.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I wasn't impressed about coming to get you and coming to talk to none of y'all. Y'all want to talk to me? That's fine. This is the opportunity for y'all to say y'all said. This is what's gonna fuck y'all. So I feel like once again you kind of going in the wrong direction. You say you're gonna come down here and be honest about shit.
I'm being honest.
You wasn't there.
No. I'm from my window.
So then we really ain't got much to talk about. This shit is on you. It ain't on me.
See, I don't want to talk about other cases.
You need to get over this first.
That's what you're in on.
Yeah, because I think you thinking that you can tell us about a whole bunch of other shit and then get some help on your shit, but you gotta be honest about what you're here for. That's how that works. It don't just work like you tell me a whole bunch of shit and then we just forget about your stuff. You gotta be honest with what you got going on.
Me, Monton, Shannon, Tay, Trayvon, and D.
Which car was you in? It was two cars, right?
I was in car Monton.
Which was which car?
And Paul.
What car?
Gray.
Who all was in the car with you?
Me, Monton, Shannon, and D.
And Trayvon and
They was in another Impala.
what color was that Impala?
Like, I heard the burgundy or something. SS.
Okay, the new one or old one?
Same year Monton car, bro. 08, something like that.
Okay. How did you all know where they stayed?
Not Trayvon, Tay.
How does Tay know?
Cause he said he been beef with them folks.
So he knew where they stayed at over there on Mosley Park on the address is 1428 Dale Avenue. Over there by Mosley Park, right? How did you even get involved in the mix? Because you wasn't at the club, were you? How did you even get involved?
When they shot at home.
So,
But
where did they shoot at Summer at?
Atlanta.
So they shot at before. Is this the same night?
Yeah. They shot at something on first.
Okay.
And they shot at I think they did shoot at the club. I don't know about the club.
So Summer was at Landrum Arms with Alexis and Tay.
Yeah.
They were in which car? Or were they in
Nah, she went with Tay. She was lit. They haven't got there yet.
Okay. They in the car or they inside the park?
Yeah, they in the car.
They in the car?
Yeah, they in some car. They go in the house.
Okay.
And she said they started shooting, but they shooting from way, not parking lot, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
They shoot from way in her parking lot.
Did they make a police report?
I don't know. You know, if anybody calls the police or anything, the police show up out there, they say.
I'm pausing it now at 2:26:51. I'm sorry, yes, 2:26:51. Sergeant Gaither, as I turn this microphone back on. Now, did you have an opportunity yesterday even to review and listen to this video recording of this interview that you did with Quindarius Zachary?
Yes.
And if you would lean in or bring that microphone a little bit closer to you, would you tell the jury who that is in the room with you and Mr. Zachary?
Detective Dennis.
All right. Now, as you listen to the interview, are you able to hear as clearly and as well as you were sitting face to face with Quindarius Zachary what it was that he was saying to you? Or did you understand that question?
I think I did. I mean, he appeared. I appeared to understand what he was saying. It was clear.
And what I'm asking is, as you sat in the room with him on August the 5th of 2015, were you able to hear him clearer or more clearly than you are listening to him on the video?
Yes.
All right. And having watched the video, tell the jury if there are things that aren't as clear as we listen to it here today.
Some things, yes.
Okay. When you showed Quindarius Zachary a phone number, was that the phone number for his mother, or was that the phone number that you had for Quindarius Zachary himself?
That was a phone number that he utilized himself.
All right. And where had you gotten that phone number from?
His mother.
All right. Do you recall when it was or under what circumstances you got that phone number from his mother?
Yes.
Would you tell the jury about those?
I believe he was arrested early May for possession of a firearm. Shortly after that arrest, my team conducted a search warrant at his apartment off of Cleveland Avenue in hopes of recovering other firearms that he had recently purchased and other evidentiary things. And at that time, I believe he was in jail and his mother and some family members were in the apartment.
Okay.
And that's when I spoke with his mother, got his phone number, and also gave her my phone number and his girlfriend at the time my phone number.
Who was his girlfriend?
Summer.
Good?
Yeah, Summer Good.
All right. When Mr. Zachary, or you all asked Mr. Zachary, what is it that he wanted to talk to you all about? Did he say why he wanted you all to go first? Or did you hear him say, you go first, something to that effect?
Yeah, I think I asked him, what did he want to talk about? And from previous experiences, I know that when interviewing people, they want you to say what you know, and that way they can work their lives around what you already know, or get away from telling you the actual truth. So I leave it up to them to start it off, and he appeared to kind of be evasive and wanted to tell me about other shootings and incidents as opposed to what I wanted to know about the shootings from April 28th.
And when you told him that you wanted to talk to him about what he had been charged with, and he responded, I wasn't there that night.
Mm-hmm.
What did you do? What did you accept that as fact, or did you ask him, well, what did you do? Your Honor, there is also context that she can give that she has said she was clearly able to hear and discern in the interview room more clearly than perhaps can be heard on the video.
I don't know that it's been established that anybody's unable to hear it on the video. Sustained.
Okay. So when you asked him in the video, you weren't where, well, what do you hear about? Did you know, or did someone tell you before you had gotten into the interview room what it was that he wanted to talk to you about?
His family members said that he wanted to talk to me about his case and other stuff.
Sustained.
And Your Honor, it's explaining what she was expecting and why she responded the way that she responded. So
Sustained.
yes, Your Honor. Now, when he began explaining to you that Summer had called him or had come waking him up saying that Dee had just got jumped, at that time, did you have any information about Dee or Demikion getting jumped on April the 28th?
Yes,
And where was it that he had gotten jumped based on the information you had?
at Club Crucial.
And that's what, 2517 Donnelly Hollowell?
Sound about
Somewhere.
right. Yes.
At the time that Quindarius Zachary told you that she had gotten, or that Summer said that they had gotten into a whole bunch of shooting and that they had pulled up at his cousin's house, Alexis Bryant. Did you know the name Alexis Bryant?
I can't recall if I heard it or not.
At any point during the course of this investigation into these retaliatory shootings, did you hear the name or did you learn about an Alexis Bryant outside of the interview with Quindarius Zachary?
Yes.
What about Tay or threat?
Yes.
What can you tell the jury about who that is, Tay or threat?
I've been familiar with Tay or Trevante Turner for a while. He was a documented gang member. I believe he was NDC. Had several cases with involving him
Okay,
prior to this.
all right. And when you say Trevante and he says, I don't know his name, and goes on to name other people,
Mhm.
are you familiar with those other people that he names as well?
I am.
When Quindarius Zachary tells you that Moontunk had been cussing Dee out, did you know who Moontunk was?
I did.
Who was Moontunk?
Antonio Sledge.
Before you heard Quindarius Zachary tell you or talk to you about Moontunk, did you know who Antonio Sledge was?
I did.
And had you documented Moontunk or Antonio Sledge as being a member of any particular gang?
I did.
Which gang?
YSL.
All right. What about Demikion or D? Had you documented him as being a member of any particular gang?
Object, hearsay, confrontation clause.
Overruled.
Yes.
What gang had Demikion been documented as belonging to?
As initially 30 Deep, and later on we added a subset of YSL.
Okay. And when you said you're talking about Lil D from 30 Deep, is that what you meant, the gang 30 Deep?
Yes.
All right. And is 30 Deep a gang that operated in the Mechanicsville area of Atlanta?
It is.
When Quindarius Zachary first mentioned If Gang,
Mhm.
did you know what he was talking about?
I did.
Okay. And how was it that you knew what he was talking about?
I was familiar with If Gang, Inglewood family, as well as the recent beef between the two groups.
The recent what now?
Beef between Inglewood family and YSL/30 Deep.
And when you say beef, what do you mean?
Conflict.
Okay. When Quindarius Zachary talked about Perry Homes, where is that located?
Northwest Atlanta, near Johnson Road, Marietta Boulevard area, Perry Boulevard.
Does that still exist?
Perry Homes?
Yes.
No, it's some apartments, but it's not the actual Perry Homes projects that it was.
And do you remember the address that Perry Homes, generally what street was on Perry Homes?
I believe it's Drew Drive, Johnson, an area of Johnson Road, Marietta Boulevard. I believe it's 1903.
1903 Drew Drive?
I believe so, something like that.
All right. And when Quindarius Zachary talked about, that's when they went and shot up Perry Homes. Who did you understand him to be talking about having shot up Perry Homes?
What 4 people that he had just referenced?
Okay, Moontunk,
Shannon, Tay, Lil D.
Now, at the time, you know, or understand Shannon to be any particular person?
Yes.
Who did you understand Shannon to be?
A member of 30 D.
Your Honor, I'm going to object. Hearsay, confrontation clause, also ultimate issue, invading the province.
Overruled.
You may answer.
A member of 30 Deep, and also we added a subset of YSL to his profile as well.
And Shannon, did he have a last name? Did you know his last name at the time you were listening to Quindarius Zachary?
Yes.
And what is his last name?
Previously, we knew him as Shannon Stillwell, and a few years later, it was Shannon Jackson. So,
but that's the same person,
It's the same
Shannon
person.
Stillwell.
yes.
Before Quindarius Zachary mentioned Shannon, Tay, D, and Moonton shooting up Drew Drive, did you tell him what you wanted to talk to him about Drew Drive before you went into the room? Did you say anything about, I want to know Shannon's involvement? Before you spoke with Quindarius Zachary in that room and he said, I kind of figure Moonton was there though. Did you tell him you wanted him to tell you about Moonton's involvement in the shooting at Drew Drive?
No, I told him I wanted to know what his involvement was.
And when he said or spoke about people not having a car, when you asked him, why do you figure Moonton was there? Did you understand him to mean who it was that he was saying had no car?
Yes.
Who?
Shannon and Little D.
Okay. Why did you ask Mr. Zachary about his loyalty to Moonton? Do you recall asking him how close he was to Moonton?
Yes.
All right. And when he told you that his dad and Moonton grew up together, and you asked about his loyalty, did he ever express anything different than, I have some for him, but he ain't got none for me?
I believe he did say that.
Okay. What made you ask him, had he talked to Moonton since he had been in jail?
I knew Moontunk was arrested as well, and I kind of wanted to know if they were just trying to get their stories together to match. And he said that he spoke to him.
Okay. Now, that's an interesting thing. When you said you wanted to know if they were trying to get their stories together to match.
Mhm.
Explain to the jury what you mean by that and why that was interesting or of note to you.
I like to have independent recollections of incidents, so I don't necessarily like if defendants talk and, again, try to get their stories to match to see what I know to sound more believable. So he didn't really go into detail if they spoke in depth or anything. He just said he spoke to him since he had been in jail.
At some point, did you speak with Antonio Sledge?
I did.
All right. And was whatever Antonio Sledge told you an exact match to what Quindary Zachary told you?
No.
And when Quindary Zachary told you that about his conversation with Montun, and that Demikion having said he was scared and you tricked him, did you all also talk to Demikion?
I did.
And is that Demikion Garlington?
It is.
Were Demikion Garlington's words an exact match to what Quindarius Zachary shared with you in the interview?
Confrontation clause violation. Hearsay.
Overruled.
Were they an exact?
You may. This might be a good time for our morning break anyway, so why don't y'all go ahead and have a restroom break. Mr. Steele, will you still need to approach? Okay. I mean, I suppose it's going to take 5 or 10 minutes if we break as well, so. Okay. Can y'all avert the cameras? Thank you. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning.
And to everyone. Your Honor, Demikion Garlington is accused in our indictment and he's severed. There's some wonderful parts of his interrogation by Detective Gaither and Detective Dennis. And I can't go into it because he's not being called as a witness. He's not being given immunity. For the state now to say, does Mrs. Zachary's statement, and I believe the words, exactly match Mr. Garlington's interrogation? I'm objecting because I have no way of cross-examining that. I don't have Mr. Garlington here, and I'm not, this is like a backdoor way of shielding me and Mr. Adams from cross-examining Mr. Garlington, yet getting out some broad overview, exact, whatever exact means. And I'm objecting to it under Confrontation Clause and hearsay.
Okay, well, I understand the objection. I do not expect there to be any further, any kind of questioning that would try to get out what Mr. Garlington's interview does say.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, with that, I don't think that asking was it an exact match and getting an answer to that violates either of those things. So I'm overruling that objection.
Can we have a continuing, if you don't mind?
You may, although I don't expect there to be any other questioning on that topic. All right. If anybody, I'm going to take a quick break if anybody else needs to do that now. Thank you.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for watching our coverage of the Young Thug trial. Now, I want to take a quick second and I want to tell you about this stream's awesome sponsor, Upside. So what's Upside? Upside is a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas and groceries. So when I go to pump my gas, I can use the Upside app and get cash back, real cash back. It's money that's straight into your bank account. So once you have the Upside app, you claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You pay as usual using a debit or credit card. You places like Shell, Exxon, Mobil, 7-Eleven, Taco Bell. That's just to name a few, by the way. There are so many more. So to find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside or scan the QR code on screen and use our promo code LCLive and you'll get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. It's promo code LCLive, extra 25 cents back on your first gallon of gas.
Just wanted to
Hang
make
on, I
sure.
don't know if everybody or all the. Okay. Thanks. Go ahead.
Before we get started, I wanted to just make sure that 477 Yankee and 482 Yankee had already been admitted.
Would have been with which witness, do you know?
Mr. Zachary,
477. You said 477 and 482?
yes, why? As in Yankee. You can,
477, yes. Yes, both of them.
okay,
All right.
thank you.
You ready for the jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay.
Look at that. This is probably it. Mhm. What do you use? And Your Honor, is it okay if I ask the last question and allow the witness to answer?
Yeah, I don't think we got an answer, so yeah. What is, who's,
Is that me?
computer's making that?
I'm gonna, hold on. Let me see something. I can go to notifications and mute that.
Make sure your email.
Ask Ms. Laura. Let me see the next page. The next page. Page before, because I'm doing it by this. Okay.
Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Love.
Thank you. Sergeant Gaither, before we broke, I think I asked you if what Demikion Garlington told you was an exact match to what Mr. Zachary told you.
No.
At some point, did you all speak with Kenneth Copeland during the course of this investigation into these shootings in 2015?
Yes.
And did you speak with him multiple times?
Yes.
Was what Kenneth Copeland told you in either of the interviews during either of the times that you talked to him ever an exact match to what Mr. Zachary shared with you on August 5th, 2015?
No.
Vague, exact match.
Overruled.
Also then reject, Your Honor. The jurors heard the statements of Mr. Copeland. They make that decision, not this witness.
That's ultimately true.
Outside of any interviews that were captured on video during any interactions with Kenneth Copeland, did he ever give you an exact match of what Mr. Zachary shared with you on August 5th?
Your Honor, I don't have any reports or other I'd like those reports and addressed before questions are asked.
Is there a foundation for that question?
I can make a foundation. When you took Kenneth Copeland, or when Kenneth Copeland was brought over after he was arrested at the Dunbar Center, was he interviewed?
Yes.
Okay. And did you help transport him?
No.
Okay. Are you aware of any statements by Kenneth Copeland that are an exact match to anything?
Same objection.
Yeah, okay, so are there any statements by Kenneth Copeland that aren't reduced to writing or on video?
By you? Were there any interviews or statements?
That you know of by anybody having to do with this set of circumstances?
Not by myself or Investigator Dennis, no ma'am.
Do you know of any from anybody else?
I don't know.
Okay. Then move on to the next question.
And when you told Mr. Zachary, Demikion sat in that exact same chair, was that after you had interviewed Mr. Garlington? In
Yes.
other words, okay. And did you ever try to trick anybody?
No.
I'm going to continue playing, Your Honor, at 2:27:48.
Okay. She was telling me what happened. I told her she was telling me what happened right up front. And then that one, I called Moontum. And Moontum told me he was outside. Say they ain't want me to ride with. They wanted me to ride, but they didn't want me to ride.
What you mean?
Like, they wanted me to go with him, but I ain't have to do nothing.
So where were you seated?
I was sitting in the back seat.
Well, now where y'all sitting?
Huh?
Let's break this down.
Shannon's in the front, D right here. I'm on this side, Moontum drive.
Whoa, let's break it down.
So Moontum driving, Shannon front passenger. You sitting behind Shannon?
Yeah.
And Demikion behind Moontum?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what exactly did they say they was gonna do? Like, why were they picking you up? Now they just,
Say the passenger, seating truck one more time. Long-term driver, Shannon, front passenger.
me. And D.
Good D. And then
The other D.
the Mickey.
Yeah. We went and made take them. They was in different car.
What kind of car? You said the orange is it?
Yeah, burning. It wasn't a car.
Orange. Who car is that?
The boy turned on. Is that his real name or is that like a fake name? It's Trey Duncan. I didn't know him because what gang he in? But who he affiliated with? They both be blood, but like just like regular gangs. I don't know what regular gangs. They both be blood. So who all was in the car when they came and picked you up? When Moulton came and picked me up, Moulton Shannon D. Okay, Moulton Shannon D was in the car and came and picked you up. Where'd y'all go? We went to Perry home. When that lad went to the house on MLK. Shannon D and Tay got out the car. Me and Moulton stayed in. Shannon D and Tay got out the car and did what? They went and shot the house. What kind of gun did Shannon have? Shannon had a Draco 762. Where's that gun in now? I don't know. Whose gun is that? I don't know. They already had the gun. What color is it? It's like a chocolate. Like a chocolate? Like 8-pack? I said, what color is it? Brown. What kind of gun is it? They had a 762 AK. It looked like a deer gun, but it looked like a what? It looked like a big old deer gun, but it was an AK, you say? What about Demikion? He had a Moulton gun, which was what? That gun I got caught with. And you didn't shoot? No. But don't you own this? You went and bought like 3, 4 firearms. Man, what would trip me out of those?
He tricked you on all of them, man.
Yes, he did. We gonna get to that though.
Right.
So, did Traydon shoot any guns? Nah, he was driving. So he was driving. So the driver basically stayed in the car. Yeah. And you stayed in the car. Yeah. How far did they get up to the house? I don't know. We moved to Paul way back. Like, they got up close to the house though. I think like front driver. I don't know if they got it up to the door. I know they got the driver. I seen that much. Now they shot that house. And then that way we went to Pier home. Okay. And how did you guys know what apartment was at Perry Home? But who? Tay know what Philo girl? Because that's Philo girl house, right? That was his baby mom. Baby mom. So Tay knows them from the west side, basically. Yeah. Y'all don't really have home together, right? They beat before too though. Like they said, the mom knew that Tay shot at the house. But how is it that, because Tay's not flying, how is it that Tay even rolling with Shannon and y'all like that? Tay from Capitol Home, me and Moot from all of Capitol Home. He originally from Capitol Home. Yeah, and he's named Big Boo, Big Boo. He's named Boo. Yeah. Always, we named Boo, and I was met Tay. Okay, so he just cool with y'all from there. And then, now we had went, somewhere else went to Perry Home. What about? Someone get some bullets, huh? From where? So, somebody spot that they had on Cleveland. Like somebody, like house or spot? What was the spot? A spot? I mean, you gotta talk to me layman terms. I don't know. A truck spot. What kind of bullets did y'all get? They ain't getting none for the chopper. They got some. They got some. They ain't getting none for the 223. They got some for the Sunset 2.
Who has the 223? Tay?
This is the one that Demikion had. Mom's not going. That shoot 223 rounds. So is that Mom's gun that had the double drum on? Is that the one you talking about? Yeah. That's the one that he was shooting?
So the gun that you got caught with on May 7th,
yeah,
that's Monto's gun.
Stupid.
Be real.
needed my gun to go for girl that night.
He needed your gun.
It was small. That little gun y'all just got. That they just went to the house and got. A little bit gun? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 40, was it the 40? The 40 Smith one. So he needed my gun to go for girl out.
So that's your 40.
Yeah.
Cause we just got him last week. I ain't had a chance to run it yet. But
I ain't just bought that gun like a day or two before.
before that, I got up
We know.
from on Boulevard, one of the apartment, 493 Boulevard.
No, I said I had bought. Yeah, I
I
got
know.
a receipt.
Some arrowhead. How do I know?
Yeah, I got a receipt.
I got something better for you.
Sergeant Gaither, at this point, at 2:34:22 in this interview, can you tell the jury what is being shown to Quindarius Zachary on Detective Dennis's phone?
Surveillance video from Arrowhead Pawn Shop of him purchasing firearm.
How did y'all get that? How did you all?
Down there and got it.
Okay. What was it that led you all to drive down to Arrowhead and get that surveillance footage?
We had receipts from where he purchased the firearms, and we ran his name, we had his name run through the federal system to see what all firearms he purchased and the locations, and that's how we were able to narrow it down to Arrowhead Pawn Shop in Jonesboro.
When you talk about the federal registry or list or whatever that is, could you explain what that is that you are looking at to get his name? What is it?
The federal government basically has a database that keeps track of persons that purchase firearms. During this investigation, we worked hand in hand with the ATF, and we utilized them and assist them with checking names through their federal system.
Does that list or system on the federal government include firearms that are purchased illegally on the street?
No, it's just firearms that are purchased from gun shops, gun shows, or pawn shops.
When you said that you had receipts of guns that Quindarius Zachary had purchased, where did you get those receipts from?
From his apartment when we executed a search warrant.
And that was after his arrest in May?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you remember any other items that you were able to recover off the top of your head?
I believe we recovered a firearm, a couple of cell phones. That's all I can remember at this moment.
Now, when Quindarius Zachary mentioned the little 40 that he had just gotten 2 days before he got locked up, did you all, and you said we still have to run that. What did you mean?
We recovered a 40 caliber Smith & Wesson, which is almost the size of the palm of your hand, from his apartment. We hadn't had an opportunity to have the ATF test fire the gun and see if it came back to any other shootings or stuff like that.
And why is it that you all were asking Mr. Zachary where each person that he said was in the car that Montun was driving, where each person was seated? Why was that of any importance?
Objection, Your Honor, relevance.
Overruled.
Just to get a better understanding of each person's position in the vehicle, and based on where we recovered evidence from the shooting, just kind of wanted to make it a determination.
And when Mr. Zachary is showing or motioning to Detective Dennis on the paper that Detective Dennis has in front of him where each person is sitting, is he motioning in a manner consistent with what he had just verbally said to you all?
Yes.
Mr. Zachary about Tay knowing where Philos stay. Who is the philo you were talking about?
Philip Collins.
And Philo's girl, who is that you were talking about? Do you remember her name, Kenyatta Troutman?
Yes, Kenyatta Troutman.
And was that who you were
His-
talking about?
His child's mother, yes.
And where was it that she lived?
1903 Drew Drive, Perry Holmes area.
Now, Philip Collins, do you know did he have a brother?
Yes,
And was Philip Collins documented in any of your files?
yes.
How was Philip Collins documented?
He was a member of Haiti Gang.
Haiti Gang? What about his brother? What was his brother's name?
Your Honor, this is confrontation clause and hearsay. I have no documentation.
Y'all approach. Yeah, thanks.
And Sergeant Gaither, as I was asking before you stepped out, Philip Collins, you said that he has a brother?
Yes.
And what is his brother's name?
Darren Mills.
Is Darren Mills, to your knowledge, older or younger than Philip Collins?
He's younger.
Do you know about how many years younger?
Roughly 5.
Okay. Does Darren Mills have a nickname?
Yes.
And what is his nickname?
D.
Now, is D a member of any gang?
Yes.
What gang is D a member of?
Continue interjection.
You may.
Thank you.
You may answer. What gang is D a member of?
Haiti Gang, as well as the subset Inglewood family.
Is that if gang when you say
If gang.
Inglewood?
I'm sorry.
Is Philip Collins also Inglewood family or if gang?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Philo and Dee's mother's name or address?
1428 Adele Avenue is the address. I believe her name may be Denise.
Is Cecilia Davis the mother?
Yeah.
Is Denise Bell the sister of Cecilia Davis?
Yes.
All right. Are you familiar with Philo and Dee have a sister?
Yes.
Do you know what her name is?
She's the twin sister of Darren. I believe her name is Diamond.
Diamond?
Diamond.
And what is Darren's last name?
Mills.
All right. And do they have a sister, Stacey Adams?
Correct. Yes.
Did Stacey Adams live at 1428 Adele as well, to your knowledge?
I don't recall.
Okay. When you ask about Tay knowing Philo and the child's mother from the west side, what did you mean?
They both were from the west side of Atlanta. Mr. Zachary stated Tay was originally from Capitol Homes, but he grew up on the west side as well. The same as Darren and Philo. So there's only a couple of high schools, a couple middles in that particular area. So
where is Capitol Homes with relation to the west side?
Capitol Homes is more or less downtown, Memorial Drive area. The west side is considered Bankhead Highway, Hollywood Road, Parking, Cascade.
Okay. And did you prior to Quindarius Zachary telling you that he and Moncton were from Capitol Homes and that is where Tay was from, were you aware of those facts before you went into the interview?
No.
Sustained.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like to revisit that at a break or another time. Now, when Quindarius Zachary said that Tay used to familiar with, just briefly, Quentin Porter or the name Big Boo?
I'm familiar with Quentin Porter, aka Big Boo, from the Cleveland Avenue area. He was a known gang member of Raised on Cleveland Rock Crew. Worked several investigations involving him, so I was familiar with the name.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to resume at 2:34:22. Actually, before I do, let me ask you this. When Quindarius Zachary referred to a spot and then told you a trap spot on Cleveland. Would you tell the jury what a trap spot is?
Trap spot is a location where drugs are normally sold or illicit activity is conducted.
And based on the investigations that you have conducted as a detective in the gang unit and during your time with the Atlanta Police Department, is a trap spot ordinarily a place where guns and ammunition are also stored?
It is.
And at the time that Quindarius Zachary told you about a trap spot on Cleveland, at that moment, did you know what trap spot on Cleveland he was talking about?
Not at that exact moment, but I had an idea.
And was the idea that you had confirmed at any time?
No.
Okay. Picking up at 2:34:22.
That's you? Yeah, I think that's you.
We did all of that. So after we got the police, went to Pier 1. Okay. Then Donnie got out and shot the house. Who got out and shot this time? Tay, D, and Shannon. Tay, D, and Shannon again. Okay. And they had the same guns that they had before? From there? Nah, it was another one called this time. And called Tatum. What's his name? I think his name is Lee. Lee? Did he get out? Yeah. Yeah, hang on. You remember what kind? I just remember. Two hands.
Who called you there?
He didn't call Tatum. That's Tatum from
Lee.
They went and got him out the little. Okay. We'll make that up.
Pausing at 2:35:28. Sergeant, at the time you spoke with Mr. Zachary on August 5th, 2015, did you know either Tay, D, Shannon, or Montun to be wearing dreads during that time?
No, they weren't.
Okay. And when Mr. Zachary told you about a person named Lee, did you know of a Lee associated with them, with YSL? That did have dreads at the time?
I knew of a Lee that was associated with Tay and Traydon from MDC.
Okay. Now, what Lee was that you knew of?
Ali Caldwell, Caldwell.
And when you say dreads, are you able to describe the type of dreads that Ali Caldwell had?
Yes, he had not necessarily like dreads like mine, but they were more or less like big planks. If any of you guys are familiar with the rapper Jay-Z, the larger plank style locks, that was his hairstyle at the time.
Thank you. Continuing at 2:35:28.
After the Pier 1 got shot. After Pier 1 got shot up, shoot. Who went in the house? Where they dropped me? I went in the house. 405 on Cleveland Avenue. But they met me we met some at the gas station. Which gas station? On Silver Road. And I called him in the house. Which one on Silver? The Chevron. Like right by 166? Yeah. I forget right there. So someone met you right there, picked you up, and then she drove you to the house? We let my cousin drop us off at the house. I'm gonna keep on coming because she still go to the house. Okay. So tell me about this slime stuff. Slime? Why do y'all call yourselves slime? Number one. I'm not no slime. Why do they call themselves slime? Because we stealing this stuff. So it's like you being slimy or grimy about it. Like, say me and you cool, right? And you got a girl or something. And you leave out and I talk to your girl. Try to talk. So you really like slimy, yeah.
So there's no rules, basically. It's like, I slammed that nigga.
Yeah.
Like, so even if we cool, you can rob me. And it's like, just slam.
Yeah.
So basically, no rules, no laws. But you say you ain't slam?
No. I ain't like, they would never let me get out.
Why?
Cause my brother, and he don't really want me to hang around.
But you do.
I know. He be mad. Who is your brother? And I ain't tell you. He be mad. I want the dread. Yeah, how you know? Come on, bro. Hey, he mad that I hang around with him and whooping him. But he's fine though, ain't he? Yeah, he's fine. So I'm saying, what does it matter? If he wants to brother and then I'm sick. Mm-hmm. So if like something happened to me, he'll feel bad because you kind of got down to it. How did 30 Deep and Cleveland Avenue link up for a long time? Anybody fuck with them? Y'all didn't fuck with each other. Those dogs fuck with the water. So that just kind of brought everybody up. How close are you on Woody? Or how close were you? Only reason we got close because I was hanging with Moon for hanging with the. Mm-hmm. And then another one, Woody, what's it called? We started it. So the Woody people, meaning Demekion and Shannon, everybody just kind of started linking up. Yeah. Y'all ain't never had no problem, nothing with each other? No. We ain't never had no problem with Campbell. Well, they ain't never had no problem with Campbell. I ain't never got into it nobody from Campbell. Ain't nobody never got into it nobody from Campbell. Mm-hmm. It just linked up like that. So how did it get to a point where, you really didn't have too much, really? What? No, go ahead. What, the beef started? That's what you're saying? Yeah. Killed him, shot up Gavin House, the dugout. Right. And then the Woody had called him at the skating ring or something. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, but they had shot through a window out. On which car? The SF. Right. And Thor like, nah, I ain't cool no nigga till they take my window. Mm-hmm. So why they shoot up the dugout down there? Woody and Kerry had some person going on. I guess big as bad. Mm-hmm. Who got more girl, more money? Both on, and that one has money. They flexing with somebody else shit. Yeah. So you know how it is. Kill one, like those coming crucial, getting little money doing stuff. Kill them want to do that. Right. Yeah. But throw one, he ain't clicking them. He ain't like them. Right. He ain't like kill shot out the window. So just over there in Windshield, you know how many times you find it together, how? I mean, I don't know. I wasn't there. Oh, y'all didn't do it? Y'all didn't know? No. I'm saying I wasn't physically there.
We know about it, but how many times they shoot us?
Like 200.
So they were just done.
Yeah. But they knew y'all was in there? Yeah, people posting pictures on Instagram, videos on Instagram. I turned it off. People posting videos on Instagram and stuff. And shoot, everybody finna go. Totally like dope hurt. So everybody walking to their car. I stayed there, I still counting. I ain't have no gun anyway, so ain't no sense me walking out there. Then you just hear gunshot stuff going off. They tell you in the woods across the street or something. Mm-hmm. Then don't everybody right out the door. Everybody who's in those guns right out the door stuff. Right. So they thought they were gonna get some money. So when this Windshield got shot out, he confronted Kale about it? Like, what? No, he ain't know. They ain't know the hurt. They thought MDC did. Mm-hmm. And then when I got shot. Right. Who shot you? I don't know. Okay. It's not shooting at the club. Okay. They thought MDC did, but come find out MDC didn't do it. Kill had told Thug baby mama who's ready that he had did it. And she messed with Moonton. She told Moonton and went. Wait a minute, Thug baby mama was messing with Moonton? No, Thug baby mama told my sister. Okay. And my sister was messing with Moonton. Okay. So Tor Yeah. Okay. And it went from there. So, I'm just trying to follow you. So y'all in the dugout, they shoot up a bunch of rounds. Y'all come outside. They stand outside. I ain't had no gun. Well, they went outside. Everybody made guns. I don't know. I mean, how do you know that it was Kalen that did it? I just told her I didn't know. Cause I told her they thought it was MDC or somebody else. Kale ran his mouth to Scoocher here trying to play. And then that's when he got back. Yeah, she told my sister told him to. Cause then told that it was Kevin. One told Wood and threw it up. Okay. So this incident with chain and phone getting stolen out the car. That was way before. I don't know. When did this happen with the dugout? That was in January, right? Yeah. Dugout got shut up in December. In December. Yeah. So from that point, it was really on like y'all just didn't fuck with each other. Meaning YSL and they ain't remember each other. They ain't remember each other.
Pausing, Your Honor, at 2:42:14. And we will advance to 2:43:13. Sergeant, while we are advancing, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Did you know during your interview with Mr. Zachary in August 2015, that before he told you, did you know that he was sick, as he called it?
Yes.
All right. And was that with an autoimmune issue?
Yes.
Okay. Was there anything about that illness that at all appeared to affect his understanding or ability to communicate with you during the August 5th interview?
No.
When you heard Mr. Zachary say that he had never had a problem with Mechanicsville, did you have any particular understanding, or what was it that you understood him to mean? The area, the physical location, Mechanicsville, or something else?
Objection, Your Honor. Relevant speculation.
Overruled.
I understood it to mean 30 deep. 30 deep operates in Mechanicsville.
And based on your background and your expertise as a gang expert, Woody, Shannon, and Demikion, did they have any affiliation with 30 Deep?
Yes.
Were they all each 30 Deep?
The three you just named? Yes.
When you heard Mr. Zachary talking about Kel, who did you understand him to mean?
Kelvin Watts.
Is Kelvin Watson a gang?
Yes.
What gang?
Bird Gang, as well as Inglewood Family.
If gang?
If Gang.
Okay. As you heard Mr. Zachary talk about the dugout, were you familiar with that location?
Yes.
And is that also the gambling house?
It is.
Where is that location?
Around Lakewood Avenue, McDonough Street, not the city, but.
All right. And is that an area that you knew of any particular gang to hang out?
Southeast Atlanta, I mean, it's kind of no man's land.
Okay.
Not It's really close to the area for If Gang, but it's not necessarily within that territory.
And before Mr. Zachary told you about the dugout getting shot, did you know about that incident?
From previous interviews, yes.
All right. We're going to pick up with the interview.
Every Monday, y'all know y'all got beef. Y'all still go to the club. I ain't go to the club like that. You ain't go to Crucial like that. But you hung out with him, like, on the block. I might hang out with him on the block. But why I said, I ain't talking about killing. Oh, yeah, I used to hang with him. Like, I might go push one Monday, then not go next Monday if I knew it was going to be something.
Right. So since you got shot, was it November, right?
Yeah.
How many times you think you went to Crucial since then?
About 10. I know not.
November to January, because it closed one night.
Oh, no, not to November, January, probably like, we had went out of town. Probably like 5 times. Like 5 times? 5, 4, something like that.
So when did you and Montel, once he finds out from the girl that Kel did that, then what happened?
He tell Woody.
And then what?
Then Woody like, oh, alright. And then that when they shot at Kel. Y'all heard about that? Oh, you know that? Yeah. Woody Montel shot at Kel. And they went for now.
When did y'all make
it? And then that make what? I heard no video you talking about.
What video I'm talking about?
Montel mad about you.
When did y'all make that?
Let me see. Montel mad about you.
When did y'all make that?
It was after I got shot up.
So sometime in December?
January. Sometime in January. Yeah, heck yeah. So, fast forward from December to January. So we in January now. Yeah. How and why was Nut killed? If Nut, because you ain't really mentioned nothing about. That's what I'm saying. I'm not involved. I don't know. Wait, in word, May gonna do that. May who do that? People killed. Shannon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And ain't Nut. Lambo. Big Nose Nard who in jail right now? Yeah. Yeah. And Doo-Wop. And ain't Doo-Wop. What Doo-Wop look like? I don't know. He on your IG. That's a little Doo-Wop. Do the Doo-Wop, man. Look at the name. Yeah. How do you know this? I know. Because they told me. Who told you? Shannon told me. Yeah, told me. Why did they tell you? It was at the house. Talking about which house? The old house. What, the new one? Or the old? His condo down there? Yeah. What exactly did they say? A lot of folks can't go down there and murder, man.
What you mean?
Like, it's a big old, a lot of folks have something to do with it.
Explain how, from start to finish, break it down how it happened.
Yeah, one of the girl, her name Bushi. They saw Nut. They saw Nut where? At the bar shop. Well, they would be hanging at the bar shop in Texas on the job. Mm-hmm. They saw Nut. And, D was in the cold, but D got another car. Which car were they in when they saw him? the Infinity G35. What color was it? It was, I forgot what color it was, but the old manager had rented it. Amina? Yeah. I forgot what color it was, but man, what was it? New in my car? Yeah, man, Wood was in there later on that night. We had went to a little kickback. Okay. I thought we had wrecked it. Well, we did. We spent around the Springway. Yeah, I was drunk at the bottom of it. No, we was just flying. It was like talking me and him. He just flying, trying to see what it was doing. You remember where they rented the car from? No, I don't know what she rented from. So Amina, you definitely know Amina the one they rented the car. So Amina rented the car for a thug. Yeah. Who did Thug give it to? Who he let drive? Yeah, who he let drive? Nard, yeah, and Shannon and Dua. They supposed to meet yeah, girl, Boosh. Where were they supposed to meet Boosh at? I don't know they supposed to meet it, but I know they supposed to know. That's what I'm saying. How did they end up over there by the sex club? Did they go looking for him? No, they probably just the studio. I went there when they I was there my little niece had a party, and then Moonsoon called Moonsoon didn't even know. Moonsoon somebody just killed a nut. And he I'm gonna meet Woody at the Gavin house. And then Woody was scared. Cause they chased him and all that. So did Woody have anything to do with Nut being killed? No. So when they drove past the barbershop, were they specifically going for Nut or were they going for somebody else? They were going to meet the girl. But when they saw Nut, were they saying we're gonna get Nut or was it somebody else? We're gonna get Nut. What?
Pausing at 2:48:20. Advancing to 2:48:33. Sergeant, the photograph that I showed you earlier that was marked as 503 Yankee. Who was depicted in that photograph that you were asking Quindarius Zachary to identify?
Demise McMullen, aka Nard.
Nard?
Nard.
Okay. And when Quindarius Zachary told you the people who were in the car and was describing Donovan Thomas's murder, who did you understand him to mean when he said Nard?
Demise McMullen.
Is that the same Demise McMullen that you looked at in conjunction with Kelvin Treadwell for the Dexter Montgomery shooting?
Yes, I arrested him for that shooting.
Picking up at 2:48:33.
How did it, what I think she's trying to ask, how did it get to a point of, you never said none of this?
Because they say it's power. They like green like all white and 30 feet. They say Nut said whoop or something like so I mean it's a go. And then
So Power Walk at the gang meeting.
yeah.
So you saying his gang had a Power Walk?
That house that they spot on MLK.
Okay, and they said that YSL and 30D got a green light, which basically means you kill them if you see them. Like they fool.
Yeah.
So why did he put that out there? Do you know why he said that?
I don't know. Cause they had never shot it. They had never shot it Nut before. Like, when you know attention, like, when they kill nut, everybody like, why the hell they do that to nut?
Right.
If we know attention, they nothing, man.
So, do you remember the exact words that Shannon told you as far as what happened?
Yeah. Like, we just caught the nigga nut down bad.
You said we caught the nigga nut down bad?
Yeah.
I
I like who? Like me, yeah. Nut, doo-wop. I like, I'm telling you, gun they had.
Which gun?
They had AK-72, right?
He said, you gonna say what kind of guns they had for the murder, right? You said the AK-76. Whose gun was that?
That was Nut gun.
What else?
That a 4.5. I don't know what other.
Whose gun was the 4.5?
Yeah.
You remember what brand it was?
XD or something.
XD?
Yeah.
You know what that gun is now, or where these guns are now?
Like, I know. Let me finish the story.
Okay.
They caught Nut down bad. They took the guns in the car to OG Bentley. You know Bentley?
Calvin Trevor.
They gave him guns in the car.
What did he do with it?
He hid the guns and they took them in the car back.
Do you know where he hid the guns at?
I don't know he hid the guns. I know they took it to his spot on Cleveland.
You know where at on Cleveland?
His spot? Yeah, I don't know the address. It's on Oak though.
On Oak Drive?
Yeah.
So, this is all what Shannon is telling you.
That was this was both Shannon and Jack told, but this Shannon what Shannon told me first.
So Shannon told you,
They both told me the same story though.
where were you guys when Shannon was telling you this, and what day was it? Same day or day after?
Same night. Shannon I was walking through. I had just walked me and Moose when I just pulled up at the house. And Shannon was gonna go to her house. And all the bullets was going out the gun. Like, he like, we ain't got no guns. They see Moose on gun.
Right.
Moose had a little handgun. They see Moose on gun and go to the store. Moose say, wait, I ain't got no bullet. And that when Shannon started talking. Moose still didn't know. He didn't know that night.
Right. He didn't know that night that Nut had got killed.
Nah, he knew that Nut had killed, but he didn't know that they did. They're like, Moose don't talk too much.
That's what I heard too.
And then that when Shannon was telling me the story, say they were going to meet Bush, but they looked up and seen Nut. Say they had rolled back around and then started shooting them. Shannon had nothing to walk.
So was Kale out there?
No, I don't think Kale.
Kale went out there in front of the bar shop.
Well, he wasn't the target.
I don't think he was out there, but they just like, we seen Nut.
Right, because Nut made the call for all the youngsters. Nut had some rank, right? You know what Nut rank was?
What?
I'm asking, do you know what his rank was in Ysl?
Nah, it's probably OG or something.
Yeah, OG. So, because he made the call and green lighted YSL 30D, he tell the other ones what to do, so they was the ones going to be coming after y'all, so it makes sense to take him out instead of
That what they said.
a whole
Nah, like, they ain't never shot at me. Like, every game.
They ain't never shot at you?
They shot at me one time, but I don't know if that was them for sure.
Where we were?
At the farm on Empire. See, y'all heard about that? Y'all didn't know they had something to do with retaliation?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you saying that was them? Because we added in.
Yeah, that had to be them. Well, I didn't know at the time until they got on Twitter stage.
Who was tweeting?
D between, stood between.
What was they saying?
Like, we shoot at them, they make a police report. Something like, yeah, they say we shoot at them, they make a police report. So they shoot at us, won't say that.
So, what did Nard tell you, if anything different than what Shannon said, like any exact words?
No, I didn't tell them that.
I mean, not Nard,
Yeah, just like, Those was going out of town. Well, he had left one out of town.
Where'd he go?
He went to Florida.
Okay. That night?
Yeah, we both went the next day, like that morning. Well, we did get that morning.
Who all went down to Florida?
Me, Shannon, D, Woody, and Yak. And Noah had left before us.
You said,
they shot the spring back for us.
So you, Shannon, D, Nard, and Woody?
Yeah.
So y'all went down there on the sprinter bus. Who down there?
Me, Shannon, Nard, Yak, Woody. Okay, yeah. I got you, Zachary. Approach last.
Both you and when you the meeting I went to her.
Yeah. So this was the next day after the murder? Yeah. Did you hear Nard say anything about it? No. I ain't gonna say that about like it came out another time said something about we got back from Miami. About how long after the murder, like how long were y'all in Miami? Me, Shane and D and Nard. And yeah, we just stayed out there 2 days, but we like we want to come back there bored. They just down there at Birdman House. Woodoo down there scared. Cause they was shooting up on their house. Right. He was down there scared. He didn't leave on the sofa. Right. And then some nut like nigga Woodoo gonna fold. I like, what you mean? How you gonna tell him?
Stopping at 2:55:13. Sorry. I want to talk a little bit about what you covered with Mr. Zachary in the clip that the jury just heard. Now, when you're talking to Mr. Zachary about Donovan Thomas's murder, had you been assigned by the lead detective to get any information on that?
No.
And were you at any time working under Detective Thorpe while you were investigating the back and forth shootings between YSL and If Gang in 2015? And
Said under?
right, were you working in the homicide unit underneath him?
No.
Did you work with him in some instances? For instance, in this interview, did he come in and listen?
Yes, he did.
But did you take direction from him? And were you consulted by him before he took over?
No, I wasn't taking direction or consulting. We would share information just because we knew our shootings were direct, relation to his homicide. So if we could gain information for him as well as our own, we would definitely share that.
Okay. The Kelvin Treadwell, when you all asked Quindarius Zachary, did he mean Kelvin Treadwell? Is that the same one that was on scene during the Dexter Montgomery shooting? O.G.
Yes.
Bentley?
Yes.
Okay. And when Mr. Zachary spoke about taking when he talked about If Gang having a spot on MLK, were you familiar with what that spot was?
Yes.
Where was that spot on MLK?
28 Adele Avenue.
Now, when Mr. Zachary talked about a green light, can you explain to the jury what that means was?
Yes, in gang terms, a green light is basically giving permission to lower ranking members of that particular gang, that whoever's green lighted, you're giving permission for them to harm them or kill them.
Okay. And when Mr. Zachary told you about O.G. Bentley's spot on Cleveland off Oak Drive that the guns were taken to, were you familiar with O.G. Bentley's spot off Cleveland on Oak Drive?
I was familiar with the spot.
And was that a place that you would describe as a trap house?
Yes.
going to object to that.
Bef-
I'm going to object to that.
Overruled.
Now, before you spoke with Mr. Zachary, and Mr. Zachary told you that, was it that Woody had shot Cal?
Yes, I believe that's what he said.
Did Woody tell you he had shot Cal?
Of course not.
And when you all were asking Mr. Zachary the timeline from November to January, why were you all interested in what was happening from November up until January 10th?
We kind of wanted a starting point to figure out why was everything occurring. If we could locate prior incidents leading up to it, whether it was shootings, damage to properties, collecting evidence, to see if we can just link the cases together.
Okay. The January 6th incident, were you all familiar with that before you spoke with Mr. Zachary? Were you familiar with
Yes.
anything happening on January 6th?
Yes.
And what were you familiar with?
There was a shooting. I believe it was damage to property at Club Crucial. A bunch of vehicles were damaged. I don't believe anyone got shot. I believe Demikian was assaulted
Inside Club
inside the
Crucial?
club and proceeded to shootings
And
after.
were you aware of Yak and Duke getting arrested on that same day,
Yes.
driving away from Club Crucial?
Correct.
Confrontation clause, Your Honor. But she was present and witnessed.
The evidence, okay. Your Honor, the court had asked us if there was a particular spot that would make it better to break and then continue, but we can
Okay.
go on. I think that this is
this one?
this is one.
Okay, all right, and we're close to the noon hour, so we'll go ahead and break for our lunch. And let's shoot to be back at 1:15.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, do you want to just have Mr. Atkins here at 1:15?
Oh, he was headed down, but we'll tell him 1:15.
Okay, well, unless he walks in before we break. We'll see you at 1:15. One quick question, Mr. Steele, I appreciate you sending the order, and with regard to that, was there a ruling made on the record after y'all argued those in August, or just this written?
There was oral argument, and then case law cited, the Harris case was cited, and then the court asked me to prepare the order.
Okay, so
That's
he
my
just
memory.
said granted, or took it under advisement and later
No.
said granted? or-
No, it was granted on the spot,
Okay.
and then wanted it reduced to writing.
Okay, all right. Well, I may take a look at that part of the transcript to see if it actually answers the issue, because at the bench, my understanding is that you had said this required the gang experts to reduce things to writing and in a report. And it doesn't actually say that in this order. It could be read to mean that, but I'm just going to go back and look,
That's fine.
unless what was the state's understanding?
My understanding was that it was not, that was not a requirement. Mr. Steele specifically asked for that. And the court specifically said that he wasn't going to require that they do that. His understanding of the law was that that was not a requirement.
If it exists, produce it, but if it doesn't, you don't have to.
Right.
That's my understanding of the law too, but he could have ordered something else. So if the record, the transcript seems to reveal that, then I'll require that. But otherwise, I don't read the order to say that.
Well, okay, and whatever the transcript says, I stand by the
Okay.
Harris case.
Yeah, I read it.
And it says you make it better for cross-examination, you put things in writing, you get this.
Well, what was ordered in the Harris case though was the notes that existed. So anyway, I'll take a look.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. See y'all back at 1:15.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for watching our coverage of the Young Thug trial. Now, I want to take a quick second and I want to tell you about this stream's awesome sponsor, Upside. So what's Upside? Upside is a free app that gets you cash back on daily essentials like gas and groceries. So when I go to pump my gas, I can use the Upside app and get cash back. Real cash back. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you can transfer straight into your bank account. So once you have the Upside app, you claim an offer for whatever you're buying on Upside. You pay as usual using a debit or credit card. You follow the steps on the app and you get paid. And as you saw me just do, you can use Upside at places like Shell, Exxon, Mobil, 7-Eleven, Taco Bell. That's just to name a few, by the way. There are so many more. So to find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside or scan the QR code on screen and use our promo code LCLive and you'll get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's promo code LCLive for an extra 25 cents back on your first gallon of gas.